Hello and welcome to the Sheep Seats. I'm your host, Matthew, aka Sheep, aka Dark Sheep. We are here on this fine Friday evening. It was like 50 degrees here in Wisconsin, so I'm feeling like spring's here. We're watching spring training baseball every day, and we are drafting, and it's a great time to be alive. And another person that's alive is Paul. Do you like that transition, Paul?
Yeah, I'm certainly alive and enjoying the warmish weather. It was 10 degrees here in London, Ontario. I don't know if that effectively translates to 50 degrees, but yeah, it's nice to get a little bit of taste of sun, and yeah, all the spring training action has been welcomed. Like we need it at this point in the winter.
Yeah. And if you're not familiar with Paul, you've probably read some things that have come out of his fingers. He has been our written contributor this year at Stacking Dingers over on stackingdingers.com on the Substack. So, first of all, Paul, it's been awesome having you do that. Really good to have another thing to provide people, and you've been killing it over there.
Oh, appreciate it, Sheep. Yeah, no, it's great for my job. I use a lot of like Chat GPT and Copilot, so it's nice to start fresh when I'm diving into the numbers and looking at some of these players. So it's been a really great way to engage in the best ball conversation, because it's something that I've really been passionate about for the last few years. So I always enjoy talking ball in my free time.
Yeah, and you did, as you said, Ontario. So you are unfortunately in the border hopping zone. So how's your season been so far in getting the drafts in and where you've been drafting this year?
Yeah, it hasn't been too bad. Obviously, I got to pick my spot, so because I have to do the border hopping piece that you had mentioned. It's a lot of slow drafts. I know a lot of people don't particularly enjoy the slows. I absolutely love them.
That
But
helps.
yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm about 40 drafts total so far. 20 in the dinger. I maxed out the bunt three a couple weeks ago. So looking to get a few more in within the next week or so I can get up to about 80 or 90 by the time the season's over. So the one nice thing about the slow is, as that injury news is coming in, you have time to react. So again, that first week where everyone showed up with their limbs hanging loosely, it was able to adjust. But yeah, no, it's been really enjoyable. I have drafters in the meantime.
Okay.
If there are any others who are upset about the position eligibility on Underdog, let me tell you, it could be much worse. Apparently, Jackson Merrill's a shortstop. Taylor Ward's playing third base. Everyone's all over the diamond on drafter. So yeah, still trying to keep sharp.
Nice. Brad says it's 89 down in Texas. Dustin's here. What's up, Dustin? And Purple Yosh, I'm becoming slow draft build. Yeah, I mean, I've moved mostly to fasts now, but I still have a couple slows. But most of my bullpen stuff was slow. Just it made sense with my life schedule at the time. What's kind of your history on Underdog, and how long have you been playing? How'd you get the bug, so to speak?
Yeah, I've been playing on Underdog probably for the last few years. Back in 2023, I went to the World Baseball Classic when it was in Arizona, and because yeah, in Michigan it wasn't available, so I saw that I could enter a bunch of best balls, and I've played traditional fantasy for since I was in high school, right? So
Yeah.
really appealing format. Love the idea that you can just set it and forget it. And then just finding the content out there, and learning about strategies and really digging into how to approach it has always been really, really intriguing to me. So yeah, since then I've been I've never max entered, but I always like to throw my hat in the ring, so to speak, and get my feet wet, because again, this is all stuff that I'm looking at anyway,
Yeah.
this time of year, right? So it's a great way to engage with it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's pull up the old slate here. I'm going to turn on my logo here and pull up the slate. I guess I got to move that over there. And let's jump in a dinger. Hopefully we can get some other people in here with us. Obviously, waiting for 2 people. So not too many people going to be able to jump in from the chat. Sorry about that, everybody. But we have filled as we looked at, I'm going to be going. I want the 9 spot tonight. No, we get picked. Because as we looked at our exposures yesterday, Billy and I on the latest Stacking Dingers episode, I have no 9 spot drafts yet. So that was that was the goal here. All right, Brad's in here. A couple of Mikes are in here. Nick's in here. Good luck, Nick. How's your last year? You maxed real early. How are you doing this year on your max status? Roofie Ben's in here. Bobby Boucher's in here. We got 3 Mikes. Mike E, Mike Marabito, and Money Mike. So this is the draft of Mikes.
Mike heavy.
It's a Mike heavy draft.
We stacked the Mikes.
We get pick 3. Question is Ronald Acuna your 3?
I do like to live large, and there's nothing larger than Big Ron. So I don't have any strong stands in the first round, but again, with Soto stealing 40 bags last year, it's hard to see him, and he failed to reach that plateau that Judge and Ohtani hit. But yeah, I'm in favor of Acuna, but I'm happy with Soto too.
All right, let's do it. Let's go off the big day today. 2 stolen bases, a home run.
And I would have said that before the big day too, just for what it's worth.
No, I know. we're just gonna have fun here on stream. That's what I like to do. So we'll give Mike number 2 a Juan Soto at 4. Mike Ski is in the chat. What's up, Mike? Yeah, and then Atlanta, we like that stack. Let's just make sure we get our star method queued up here and accidentally take some guys too soon.
Now, how do you feel about them, like in totality, compared to the Mets for this year?
I don't know. I've been kind of down on the Mets personally. Maybe that's wrong. I feel confused about them still. I guess their off season in general.
Yeah, well, like you said, they've got that just general Mets stinkiness about them that makes them a little less appealing. But like Polanco's like he's a well above league average hitter if he can stay on the field, right? Like it is a relatively deep lineup. You could see Semien having a bit of a bounce back. It's hard for him to perform worse than he has the last couple of years, and he has a much better supporting cast. But with that being said, I think there's still so many up arrows for like so many of the Braves players that again, it's easy to see them rebounding back to what they were a couple of years ago if everyone can stay on the field.
Yeah, for sure. I think I like both teams, to be honest, and I just maybe it's bias because the history of Atlanta succeeding compared to some of the failure of the Mets, but yeah, that's I guess where I end up. And I guess when it comes down to it, the Bo Bichette, right? We had one good season and previously not very good lately. Marcus Semien has fallen off a cliff. Luis Robert, there's just like question marks about all these guys. Luis Robert is not been good even when he's been healthy. So I guess the story I tell myself about Atlanta is a lot more positive, less question marks.
Yeah, and I mean the way they score too is so important. Like Bo Bichette's like a great real life hitter, but I can't tell you the number of times he's had like a 4-hit game, and then he still hasn't outscored another player who went 1 for 4 with like a 3-run home run. You know what I mean? Like he's very not a ton of power, a lot of doubles power, but he's one of those premium accumulators, which has value, but again, not someone I'm necessarily seeking out in every draft.
So Lego Manego here, Chris. Pick 7 is starting pretty interesting here. Bobby Witt and Tariq Skubal in their 38th draft. So I'm interested to see where you go with that, Chris. I don't dislike it, but I don't love it, I guess. All right, Acuna's here. Let's go with a Gunnar Henderson here. Usually I'd be taking Churio, but I've looking at my exposures last night has kind of make me take a little bit of a break on Churio.
What are you at? I haven't gotten to it yet.
Well, it's just mostly I'm taking him over here and I'm just pairing him a lot with guys over here.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of want to start building Churio from this side of the board a little bit more, and get my exposure that way.
Nice.
And Gunnar Henderson is just an excellent pick anytime in the second round.
Oh yeah.
To me. So the question I'll let you think about this next one. Do we go Matt Olson as another infielder, or is there an outfielder here you think we should pop on instead?
I like Olson to tack on if we did want to go the outfielder route. I really like Merrill this year. Okay. Anthony just went before. Would have liked him. Would have liked Langford too. So I'm good with Olson if you want to do the stack, or Merrill if you're into him.
All right, I'm into Merrill. Let's do it. Yes. I do think Matt Olson has that just insane potential with the amount that he plays. But we did take Gunnar, so and maybe if we were planning ahead a little bit, pulling Olson here and then taking Merrill would have been, or Anthony or Langford or whoever was there could have been a better plan along those lines.
Sure. Yeah. No, once you get past Devers, I guess, in this draft, but like Rooker typically goes the latest in the second round. I feel like this tier is very, very flat, and there could be two or three of these outfielders that could shoot up into the cusp of the 1-2 turn next year. Like I could see Langford being there. I could see Merrill being there. Certainly Anthony I could see being in the mix. Churio definitely has room to grow. So like when I'm on this side of the board, I don't mind pulling up some of those, those third round third round outfielders to pair with, one of the first 3 picks. Like I've done a Ohtani with PCA and Seiya, because again, it does feel very flat, and gives you an opportunity to get different as opposed to just grabbing the guys who are, close in ADP.
Yeah. And, Ohtani is anchored to a lot of these guys over on the left side of the board. Him and Judge have, being the 1-2 picks always, they're anchored very much to that left side of the board at ADP guys. I mean, I think with the exception of Rosarena and maybe Soderstrom in this third round, I can make an argument for any of the other guys.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I've gotten any Rosarena so far. And it's just the shape of the production last year was so, so focused to 2 months. So he had a torrid July where he was just scalding the ball. But then in the second half, his OPS was under 700. I had him on a drafters team that was doing pretty well, and watching his at bats while I was following that team was so frustrating, because if you look at his savant, like he's got a lot of whiff. And just turned into a ghost for the last half of the season. So, but like you said, he's kind of seems like the least likely to rise and be, a higher round pick this time next year. So I do like those other guys who have a bit more upside.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Jarren Duran? I kind of included him in that list, but as he's falling with the potential for more lost time to platoon, etc. What's your thoughts about him as he's falling?
He in a vacuum is fine now that he's going a little bit closer to like Bellinger, Riley Green. I do like Soderstrom a little bit more still, because that's a better better offensive environment in my opinion. But Duran's a little bit older than a lot of these other guys, right? He doesn't have the same amount of pedigree as some of these other players. And then just he did hit a homer off Sale. I did see that. Spring training. It's time to.
I mean, that's why we took Acuna.
That's right. Yeah. But yeah, no. Generally, unless I have Anthony already, like I've done an Ohtani, Anthony and Duran back when he was a little bit more expensive. Oh, dark on you. But yeah, other than Stacks, I'm not really seeking them out.
All right, so my plan is, I don't think we're going to snipe, is take Austin Riley with the next pick after this one. So, without getting too far behind at outfield, do we want to throw an outfielder here? Are you interested in Yamamoto or Sanchez?
Not with this team. I'm good to take Riley here.
All right, we'll just take it and see what we got coming back. We only have a few picks to our next one. We could pull down Profar for the three-peat. Yeah. So those are our options. This is already starting to get into question marks at outfield.
It gets thin pretty quick.
And Brad takes a bets Nimmo, so continues his Dodgers and Texas Rangers stack. All right, so what do you think here? What's in your mind as we hit this spot?
I'm good with pulling up Profar if you'd like to for this build. I don't mind Teo, and then maybe taking a look at some potential late Dodgers. Haven't gotten to a lot of Buxton. Don't really feel comfortable paying for him when he's the most expensive, but yeah, I'm open for Teo or Profar if we want a piece of the Dodgers or keep going on the Braves train.
Let's do it. Let's take Teo. I like that. Most of the time I think I would take Profar, so let's mix it up a little bit, get another outfielder here.
Yeah. This might ruffle some feathers, but I feel like I'm one of the few that isn't completely sold on Profar this year.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. So, I mean, he's got really good, discipline. He doesn't strike out a ton. It's just the batted ball data is just not as strong as, some of the other outfielders that I like later in the draft. And, he had a long stretch of his career where he was a below league average player. Obviously he was in, different environments, and not to, suggest that guys can't improve or get better. But it even looked like he had a little bit of good luck last year in the small sample, where he did come back. He is coming off, a PED suspension. So, yeah, I don't mind taking him as part of, a Brave stack, or even maybe starting something a little bit later with the Braves, just so you get a little bit of a piece. But he's not as much of a target for me as it sounds like he is for a lot of the fellas in the Discord.
Yeah. It feels like I hope this is the real Profar, but because he's had a bunch of pedigree to start with.
Yeah.
And now we're finally seeing it, and there's a lot of questions.
Yeah. So like, I certainly don't like, there's enough of a track record within the last few years to, be reasonably optimistic about him. And if he does slot in the middle of the order, like Roster Resource has him projected to, I mean, you could hit him anywhere in that Braves lineup, and he's likely going to have a lot of opportunities to drive guys in.
Yeah, in spring he's been going between the couple of like lineups I've seen. He's batted second and fourth depending on the opponent pitcher. Drake Baldwin was hitting second, and when he against righties, which is interesting for the later Drake Baldwin value. Duke, what's up? We haven't seen you much this year. I haven't seen any drafts. I hope you're doing well. And yeah, we got Logan O'Hoppe hit a home run today, and
everyone wants to know if he was wearing a shirt or not when he did it.
He was wearing a shirt, but he also went to Driveline.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we have a little announcement to make. We both
he went to
Driveline.
He went to
Driveline.
went to
Driveline. Driveline. Driveline.
I hadn't seen that yet.
Oh, you haven't seen that yet? Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, well, if you haven't seen it,
Mhm.
you tune in Sunday night, I'm sure you'll be seeing it again for
Good.
I spent a whole hour editing that together for Jason and Brad Draft a Dinger show.
That's time well spent.
Because I knew it was going to come up. So, and everybody's like, "Oh, you need to make it, the meme for that," and I did it. Now I'm brainstorming we got to troll Jason a little bit this week.
Yeah.
Yes, I named the show The Right on the first try. That's been the joke. I have not been able to say the name of the show that I named myself for those guys correctly. Here's a good question. If you know Buxton played a full season, where would you draft him?
Maybe a little bit. So he's going behind guys like Hap, Ward, Springer. Definitely in front of a few of those guys.
Yeah, so
but I mean, he's pretty much, he was at what, 130 games last year. That's pretty close to the top for someone like Buxton.
Yeah, I think it might be just like a half a round.
Yeah,
I don't think
that'd be fair.
I don't know. I guess you could put him up here in round 3. Probably should. If Randy Rosarena is up there, a full healthy Biden Buxton probably should be. All right, we're up. Michael Harris is here as part of our Atlanta stack.
Yeah.
Who knows what he is this year? A lot of times I'm jumping into pitcher here. So what do you think?
Sure. Yeah, I'd be up for a Cease, a Peralta, a Green. If you wanted to keep the outfield train going, we can, take Harris, or I like Stowers too. But yeah, let's grab an arm.
All right, we'll grab Dylan Cease here. Actually, you know what? Changing my mind. We're gonna take Michael Harris and then take our pick of pitcher that comes back to us.
Yeah, there's enough there that's a nice glob to choose from.
Chris Sale, Max Fried, even down there.
Yeah,
Valdez, DeGrom. Yeah, a ton of guys we could go with here. So we'll just take whatever comes back to us and get our third Atlanta guy.
Absolutely. This is such a. Do you have like a preference of these guys? Like, is this typically the order you'd take them in? Gilbert, Cease, Peralta, Green, Sale, or is there one or two that you like most out of that group?
Gilbert, Peralta, and Cease are probably the top there for me. I still have. I have a ton of question about Chris Sale at his age, kind of thing.
Yeah. He did give up a home run to Jarren Duran, and he can't hit lefties, so that's something to consider too.
So yeah, what do you think? I'm up for anybody though on this bill.
Yeah. For me, I'd be up for Green, Fried. I really like too. But if you like, I know you got a soft spot for Freddie, so we could also get a share of him.
Well, let's go Hunter Green. That's someone I am not getting into much of. Same thing. Well, different injuries compared to Chris Sale. Chris Sale's injuries are have been always kind of fluky. Hunter Green though, just kind of consistently, I'm having a hard time buying in here. But he's got that Cy Young season somewhere in there.
He does. And when you take your first pitcher this late, you could still, build out a room with 7 arms. So, you're hoping that he's active for those playoff weeks. And again, just the swing and miss is incredible. I think he has arguably the most strikeout upside out of this group.
For sure.
But injury risk aside, the one thing I've learned over the years is just like, it doesn't seem like any pitcher's safe, right? Like I've heard, on Rates and Barrels, I've heard, talk about like, sometimes you just take the innings. And, if you were to do that, like there were a couple teams that I picked. I took Merrill Kelly because I was like, oh, I need someone who's going to be stable and, healthy. Right. And of course,
right.
And now he's dealing with something. Right. So like, it's so hard to predict and project. I think with some injuries you can more so than others, obviously, but with pitchers in general, it's so hard to really gauge when you're making a safe bet.
Right.
It's just really so hard to pigeonhole that.
And like someone like Freddie Peralta, who's had, over 200 strikeouts the last 3 years because he's been healthy. Like, at a certain point, you're like, oh, but when does all that playing time lead to the next injury, right? It's like,
Yeah, exactly,
playing
right? Like
on-
how durable are they, right? Like with the Jays getting Cease. I like Cease this year, don't get me wrong, but like, he's pitched what 200 plus, or sorry, he's racked up 200 Ks the last like 3 or 4 seasons consecutively, and like a full workload. So, eventually those chickens come home to roost. And sorry I scoffed earlier. I saw Jack Caglione go at 82.
Oh,
And someone saw him hit a ball 120 miles an hour the other day.
absolutely. Spencer's weighing in here. He's saying end of round 3 if you knew Buxton was fully healthy. That's probably right.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
That's probably right. I probably wasn't giving him enough in a half a round. And Duke, I should say, agrees. Freddie is a traitor. Yes. No, Freddie is not a traitor. The Brewers just have no loyalty. That's that. I don't consider that being a traitor.
Yeah, I don't get, because they're so good year in year out, despite the fact that they have players come and go and won't extend the homegrown guys outside of Yelich. Yeah, it always seems like the NL. I mean, with the Cubs in the last few years have been pretty good, but it seems like it's ripe for the taking if they were to just invest a little bit more.
All right, we are coming up here on our pick. I do need to go back to the board after we make our pick, though. What do you think here? I'm gonna put a vote in for Jacob DeGrom as our SB2.
Like him.
I have for round a few picks value. And then what do you think for me here?
What do we have for? We've got 4 outfielders so far.
Yep,
I don't love that.
Yeah, I don't feel like I need to push any of these outfielders.
No.
Maybe a Pages with Teoscar I'd consider, but
yeah. What other infield options do we have? I think I saw Bichette's there, Abrams, Garcia. I'd be up for another arm. This is a pretty nice range. Got Strider, Kirby, Pivetta. See, like I'd be inclined to reach for like a Bradish or a McLean for this type of team. I don't know if that's reaching a little bit too far, but they like McLean seems like he might gain a little bit more steam. The one, if you thought people were overreacting to spring training, wait until the WBC starts and guys start balling out on like a big stage.
Although it seems like a lot of these pitchers especially are just going to be like super limited, pitch 1 or 2 games. Sort of thing. So I'm interested to see how that goes. But yeah, I need to pop back to here. You cringed at the Jack Caglione at 82. I saw Dalton Varsho go here at 89, and I'm not sure what to think about that. Yeah, Bobby says those 140 plus ADP Varsho shares feeling better and better. That's a bit strange to me.
It is a pretty big steam. And I mean, Adolis there, even at 91, seems like a bit of a reach too, in my opinion. Again, Varsho seems kind of similar to Pages in my opinion, in the fact that like he's going to be on the field every day because his defense is so good.
Yep.
He does have a little bit of pop, but like, before last year, Varsho had more years where he was a below league average hitter than he did being an above league average hitter. But again, it's like Pages. He's like part of an offense that's supposed to be very strong. And he's likely to hit higher in the lineup than Pages. But yeah, that seems a tad aggressive for me.
Yeah, this room is pretty aggressive at outfield in general so far. And now we see a big run on pitcher, just like we normally do about this time. I do like what Bobby's doing here. He's got a very interesting build. All right. Brew Crew boys. I guess that's me. And
Yeah.
you're an honorary Brew Crew boy for tonight. I've been digging hard on Murphy's lineup. I say Terang, Contreras, Yelly should be top 3 in the batting order. What say you? I think you're leaving out a certain young outfielder. Churio should, those 4 guys I would imagine are the top 4. I think Yelly will clean up this year. Churio should lead off. I've been pretty excited, less worried. I don't know what the exact term is, but Churio has been like taking balls this spring, which is one of my biggest complaints about watching him every day is that he's not taking any balls early in the count. So I'm a little bit excited by that.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be the thing that takes him to the next level, because when he does, swing at good pitches or pitches that are good to hit, he hits them well, obviously. But I think his bat to ball skills are too good, because when he does chase, he'll make contact.
All right, so we get our Connor Griffin at 115 here. Honestly, not too bad. Nick takes him. Nick Bach. I would have thought about grabbing him here on this team, but we are up. We got, I don't know. I think I'm leaning another pitcher here.
Yeah, I like Burns a lot. He's been showing out. We can have a little bit of a Cincy rotation stack, which sounds
not something you normally.
When you say it out loud, it sounds like a bad idea. But like those two have such electric stuff. And TJ Stats has really been. He's always so good at providing that day by day analysis of the pitchers who are performing well. And even though the control's not there, it's still February, right? Like these guys got tons of kinks to iron out. And yeah, just in general, we're so in the weeds because we've been drafting since December and even a little bit before maybe, but sometimes it's hard to forget that spring training is just that. And I think sometimes we get a little bit carried away just in terms of how much stock we put into like results, as opposed to just hoping they get through healthy and in one piece.
Yeah. And, I'll be honest, I'm worried about chasing Chase Burns much further up with him the last 2 seasons, basically throwing 100 innings each season. I don't know that he gets to the 150 or so that I want at least at the minimum out of a guy at this range. So I am worried about that. All right, we are up again. Let's pop an infielder here.
Yeah.
Do you want a Shea Bangaliers or like a Torkelson, Pena? I can see any of them in this build. Or
yeah, I'm a fan of Langoliers personally. Okay. We have 2 anchors who are going to be in the lineup every day. I know the Athletics lineup, their DH is a little bit clogged with Brent Rooker getting a lot of his starts there. But the nice thing about Langoliers is when he, at least last year when he was in the lineup, they'd hit him second. So he's like right there at the top. And if he's providing protection for Kurtz, who might be leading off, he's gonna be in the middle of all the fun stuff that goes on in Oakland with the Athletics this year. My bad.
Yes, absolutely. I do. I was drafting him a lot last year, and it's a little bit of sticker shock, but I've gotten over it at this point.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, sorry, go ahead.
No, I want to go back here, Tate. Crazy how for every one channel like this, there's 10 channels with nerds drafting 2026 NFL teams in February. Complete disrespect to MLB. And I got bad news for you, Tate. We're the nerds.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Open your eyes, Tate.
Tate, we're the nerds in this scenario. Like, they may be over aggressive in their enthusiasm for this early of football drafting, but in the landscape of things, I think we fit that nerd profile a little bit more.
Yeah, the football nerds wish they could dive into the statistics as much as we do, and then some people are just afraid to be multi-sport athletes, so they can do their NFL year round, and we've got we've got MLB best ball in the meantime.
Right. I'd love to pull as many of those guys over as we can, but guys and gals, I will say that. But yes, we're the ones here sitting 20 rounds for a baseball draft, like talking about spring training and
grinding the film.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times I see, one of the guys I like in the late round who, their playing time's not necessarily set in stone. And, I see they get a check in the box scores and see they get a hit. Then I got to see how hard they hit it. What was the launch angle? Who
Yes.
was it off of? Like it's funny. I don't like to put too much stock into spring training, but like you had said, and I think it was like maybe the first or second games the Orioles played, like Pete Alonso was in there in the 5th inning against some like 29-year-old like journeyman minor leaguer, and he's pimping like a 450-foot bomb. Like, I'm not going to put a ton of stock into that, but like, last Saturday I'm checking in on the Giants Mariners and I see Eldridge he rips like a 105-mile-an-hour double off of Andres Munoz, and like, those two things aren't exactly the same, right? Like, I'm more willing to put stock into the one thing than the other.
Yeah, and it's fun. Like, as much as you don't want to put stock into any of it, like, it's just fun. It's part of the game. It's part of us enjoying it. Part of why, I guess I should say, a lot of my recent love of baseball is just drafting and following teams, like, right? And so why not embrace some of the fun? Maybe I've been doing this too long, but like, I'm not going to win. So why don't I have a little bit of fun along the way?
No, 100%. I mean, and it's especially at this point in the year, you need something to dream on, right? So
yeah. We should be drafting these projection boring guys. I mean, Gunner.
I don't know. I think the projections, these. I don't think we're drafting too many.
All right, Hunter Goodman went there. I was kind of hoping we could get him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of up to options here. If you see anything,
we've only got outfield's getting thin quick. I would have liked. I'd take a Carpenter if you're into that. I know that's he's pretty strong side platoon, but
I'm not. But just with the way this room's going, I'm gonna jump on Carpenter here.
Because I mean, even look at the guys after him. You get Sal, you get Laureano's okay, but Stanton's a no for me. Jordan Beck, I don't really believe. Once Jay Stellato gets some feeling back in his lower half, then maybe I'll start diving back in. I do like him if he can, he's one of those guys that like, he's just a big mystery box because he's had the injury issues, but like, if he's healthy, Cleveland's going to run him out there every day. Like, he made his major league debut in the playoffs. They really like him. They need his bat. It's just a matter of him staying on the field for 140 games.
Yeah, so we're looking at, we got 4 pitchers and 1 infielder. I don't want to jam any of these outfielders after taking Carpenter. That was part of taking Carpenter there gives us, the full range of options here.
Exactly.
So I'm open to anyone you want to sell me on here.
Big into Pepio, big into Chandler. What are the infielders we got here? I like Contreras, but we don't really have any Boston pieces going. I do like Schlittler. I'm good with Pepio too.
All right. Yeah. We took a McLean and a Burns. We got risk.
Yeah.
Let's take potential of innings here, even though, I mean, he hasn't been a super workhorse, but I like his chances better than these other 3 guys in terms of hitting like 180 innings this year.
Yeah. We have a high upside rotation here, Sheep. But we're looking at the glass half full approach here. With Pepio specifically, I'm kind of taking the opposite approach that I did with the Rays hitters last year. So unfortunately, the rotation isn't as strong, but I do like Pepio. I don't know how many times I've heard people refer to the Trop as like the Coors Field for pitching. So I like him. I'd like Rasmussen more if he didn't have like 3 Tommy John surgeries or whatever whatever it's been at this point, because he's pretty much a 5 and dive guy. But I know Stuff Plus, like from Eno's model, really likes Pepio. He's ranked fairly high there. And again, it seems like a good pitching environment that he's going back to. And I think he got some bad luck last year in Steinbrenner Field. So really like him this year too.
All right, let's go check the chat here. Yeah, Mike says I sucked in pre-draft NFL last year, slamming dingers in the meantime. I totally get that. Pre-draft NFL just makes no sense to me. I'm not deep enough into it to make sense out of it. Yeah, Dean. So, for those who may not know, right now we have memberships open here on the Stacking Dingers channel. They both basically get you the same thing. The $7.99 will get you a special shout out on the show, but otherwise, both tiers get you into our Discord channel that is only for members and is just kind of a gated community, we'll say, to super MLB nerddom. Yeah, we got some great conversations going on there every day. It's been it's exceeded our expectations, Billy and I, as to what the conversation would be there. We just kind of assumed to be like the same 10 people in there talking, and yeah. So yeah, you get that, and like you said, it's just there to support us. All the money is planned to go just back into the show. We're not trying to make any huge profit here, but yeah, we were talking about the conversation Billy and I had today, and it's probably too late in the season, is like if it's worth taking some of that money and paying for the Twitter check mark. Like, are we going to increase our reach anymore? So if any of those SEO people out there are up to date on how any of that actually works, would it be worth putting in that? Hit my DMs. But as of now, it's just basically going to monitor or pay for the costs of running all of this, just trying to make this thing cost zero for us. All right, Purple Yosh says, I watch other people draft pre-draft NFL, but I don't touch it. All golf and MLB. Yeah, I did some of the scramble this year, and the golf contest that was like the full season long thing. And I know very little about golf. Just kind of I took the data golf rankings, and I took the Pat Mayo rankings and kind of combined them. And turns out I had none of the right guys this last week. This week is the last week of the first part of the contest. It's like broken up into like 4 equal parts, unlike other contests. And like I have nobody golfing in this contest this week. So I'm just watching the couple of lineups I was hoping to push up or just fall down more. So yeah, that was a tax break. We'll just call it that.
Nice.
Thank you, Duke. Appreciate your support. All right, we're up here. Jackson Holiday is still here.
I think Laureano might make sense for this build. Stack him up with Merrill.
Okay.
Kind of gives us some everyday ABs to protect us from if Carpenter ends up getting platoon there.
All right, and then that pretty much closes out our outfield, I would say.
For sure.
Personally, I usually like keeping one around for later. I am interested in tacking on some Mike Yastrzemski, as he's been kind of like I said, we're not reacting to spring training, but he's looked pretty good in spring. But
Sure.
yeah, at this point, he is off the radar. I do want to, assuming he makes this year, I do want to grab Drake Baldwin though here on the next pick.
I like that. Catcher heavy. 2 catchers.
Purple Yosh, you ran into the same problem. Like,
oh no,
I see here. I assumed that the Pat Mayo rankings would have like been the right place to go, like the shortcut to go for the guys that were going to be in this last week. But yeah, it is rough out there. It is rough, and it looks like even a bunch of guys that were supposed to be golfing this week, decided not to. So I don't
How
know exactly
thoughtful
the
of them.
reason why, but
Yeah.
all right, let's take Drake Baldwin. Oh, hey, Bobby, thank you. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. I think you were already a member. I don't know. Maybe you're rejoining. But yeah, if Bobby, you should hop in over on the Discord too. And if anybody needs help with that, hit up my DMs, and I'm perfectly happy to help you. Just maybe give you a few days because I don't check my Twitter DMs always super often, and it puts the people that you don't know into another bucket, and then that bucket also filled with spam and girlfriends and stuff like that. You know, all the future girlfriends. Hey, I don't. Maybe you don't know me, but maybe I recognize you, or all those good Twitter spams.
I recognize you from your MLB best ball stream.
Yes. Or ask me. Yeah, Brad has figured it out, even though he didn't figure it out for himself how to get in there. He did help someone else. Hey, thanks, Purple Yosh. Thanks for jumping somebody else in. Apparently, I can't actually see who it was, but apparently it was Nick. So, Nick, welcome in, and thank you, Purple Yosh. We appreciate it. Yeah. All right. Let's check in with this team. Not with the chat right now. We have a 5-4-6 build. Hunter Green, Jacob deGrom, Nolan McLean, Chase Burns, Ryan Pepio. We have Gunnar Henderson, Austin Riley, Shea Langoliers, and Drake Baldwin. We have our outfield is full: Acuna, Jackson Merrill, Tasker Hernandez, Michael Harris II, Kerry Carpenter, and Ramon Laureano. All right, so I guess I will ask if I could type San Diego. We don't need any outfielders. Any interest later on in Xander, Jake Cronenworth? Maybe we can pop those guys at infielder.
We've got those late Dodgers to consider.
See where we're at Dodgers. Yeah, Will Smith is here, Max Muncy.
So even there's some, we could take a look at Adley to pair with Baltimore.
I do like that. Adley is a guy that I keep telling myself I want to draft more, and then I forget. I don't know if you have those sort of guys that you do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially because he's towards the end of the drafts. I've really been trying to hammer Bryce Eldridge because I think he's going to get the Sal Stewart treatment pretty soon. I think it's going to take like another, homer or two, and I think he's going to start getting pulled up to where he's not necessarily free anymore. So I really do like him. I mean, there's a lot of consistent everyday players who are
I was just about to say maybe we can sneak a Sal Stewart here still in, but nope. Wizards take him. Tyler, thank you for joining. Appreciate you. Stop talking, Paul. Yes. Famously, Paul was the one who wrote up Sal Stewart in one of his articles over on stackingdingers.com and kind of reignited the fire between underneath all of us Stacking Dingers people to really jump in on the Sal Stewart train.
I mean, he's one of those guys that people were going to get to him, eventually, right? Like once you start, it's, that was what, like the end of December, once people started, digging into rosters and depth charts and like, oh, there's this, young 20-something rookie that was starting against the Dodgers in the playoffs. He had a really strong September.
Yeah. I'm going to grab Mitch Keller here based on what we have at pitcher so far, just as kind of a volume guy here. And then we can talk about infielders. I don't know that I love Langoliers, Baldwin, and Will Smith on the same team.
Yeah.
And even Max Muncy kind of worries me on that. Unless we just go all catcher.
I don't know if I'd advise that. Who else do we have if we scroll down a little bit at infield there? Oh, wow. So it looks like Herrera's gone already. I might have missed that.
Let's see who we got.
Yeah,
Yep, Ivan Herrera
yeah,
is
he's
gone.
steaming
Bobby
up a little
Boucher.
bit. Yeah, I like a man's. I know we were talking about it before we hopped on. Manzardo might be getting the platoon treatment now with Hoskins there. If we're looking for an everyday player, McLean's there. He's not sexy, but he should hit towards the top of that lineup. We don't really have anyone to pair him with.
I guess any pitcher here that I feel like we can take whatever from
Yeah.
here on out.
Yeah, for sure. I do like Cade Horton. There's a bunch of the TJ Stats guys. So I know Zebby's a little bit later. Morales is a little bit later. Horton did finish runner-up in Rookie of the Year last year for whatever that's worth. And apparently he's throwing absolute gas so far in spring training. So,
all right, let's do it. Let's take Cade Horton. We just took somebody not very sexy in Mitch Keller and Ryan Pepio, and we'll add a third. So this pitching staff really, to me, relies on Hunter Green and Jacob deGrom staying healthy, because I think we know what we're kind of getting out of the rest of these guys.
I mean, there's up arrows for McLean and Burns. Again, I know Burns is maybe capped with his innings, but again, if they're as good as they're anticipating, if they're trying to get back to the playoffs this year, he's going to be a key piece in that. So hopefully it's just, load management at the end of September once the Dingers wrapped up.
Yeah. And at this point, I mean, we could have taken anybody. It's probably a mistake to look at the top of the queue at this point. But
as far as other like deep infield options, who have you been gravitating towards recently?
For infield, let's see. Royce Lewis is there. I don't know if he counts really as a deep guy. His MRI came back negative, so that's good. I was scared there. JJ Weatherholt is interesting. I took Galen Durbin for the first time the other night. Miguel Vargas is a guy that you're not talk about boring, but max playing time is a potential guy there. That's about it.
Any interest in guys like Aranda? I know I'm still pounding the table for Paredes. I know it's pretty crowded there, but he's got 30 home run upside if he can find his way into the lineup every day. Like Burleson had a sneaky good year. I think it was your infield preview in the second episode, just talking. I think it was Brendan who was talking about how he's just quietly gotten better every year, and like the underlying metrics support it. It seems like the offense might be a little bit better than last year. If you get a full year of Herrera, Weatherholt could take that step. I do kind of like some of those Cardinals late. With Jordan Walker, I think he's one of those guys where I think I need to see a little bit of something, because he's still striking out in spring training. He hasn't really hit the ball very hard either. So it'd be nice to see a little bit more out of him before I get in over my skis with Walker.
Yeah. Expert, yes, this is probably the last draft of the evening. We're just doing one here. Jason says Horton is being slept on. I was jamming him, but the projections didn't like him, backed off. I know better, and up to 15%. As far as things go, projections do not like him. He definitely outperformed them last year, and he is throwing heat this year. So in spring, had some injury stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Oh, and Brad is now off. He's not seen any improvements in spring. So the Jordan Walker train is dead there. Fantasy draft best. I'm sorry, Spencer. I never remember the name of your YouTube channel. If you're out there, maybe
chat, help us out.
Fantasy draft, fantasy best ball addict. Yes, Best Ball Draft Addict is the channel. Should be, if he's going to go live tonight. Yeah, he will be live in. Thank you, Bobby. Threw it out there. Yes, he'll be live in 5 minutes. Do another draft, and if you are a member of the Badge Bros, Nez will be live a half an hour after that, doing some more Dinger streaming. So go check either of those guys out. I'm gonna get boring here. I know I said I didn't want Will Smith, but at this point, I'm just gonna take Will Smith.
Stack them up.
Stack them up. This is going to be a very uncommon stack. Teoscar, Will Smith, Max Muncy are three guys that nobody really wants.
But I mean, when they're playing, right? Like if you think about what their value is in like daily lineups, right? Like they're guys you want. So it's just a matter of, getting, they can spike still, even if they're not playing, if they play 5 out of the 6 games in a week, they can still be useful, right?
And I mean, not to call Brad out here, but Paseo and Bryce Eldridge, 2 guys that we don't even know are going to play. Like we're worried about Max Muncy's playing time, but we know he's on the team, right?
I mean, like I think I'm more worried about Basayo finding ABs because they have such like a glut in the outfield, right? Like is Tyler O'Neill even going to, is he going to be a starter? Speaking of guys showing up in the best shape of their lives, you can actually see Tyler O'Neill's neck for the first time. It's not just, scrunched up because his traps are touching his ears. You can he's actually slimmed down so much, but he's still like crazy vascular because he's still got, the bodybuilder genes from his dad. But it's wild. Like the jersey looks big on him for the first time.
That is strange. All right, so we got a ton of options here. I'm going to put Miguel Vargas up at the top of the queue here. Mm-hmm. But Haesung Kim, if Tommy Edman wasn't going to maybe come back, I would think about some more Haesung Kim this year. Mm-hmm. He's been leading off. Like Dodgers haven't been putting out big lineups. They're still slow playing most people. Yeah. But he has been leading off in the spring. So like they're trying to get him into the lineup. I know he did not look great last year, he didn't make the playoff roster, but mm-hmm. I still have belief in him.
This is going to be a wild name, maybe, but the closer we get to spring training and the closer we get to the Orioles not having, Westberg back. I mean, he's not going to be back until May at the very earliest. It's probably going to be longer for him. If Kobe Mayo, is someone who comes with a lot of pedigree. If there is a path to playing time, he's someone that I'm going to be very interested in, just because again, I love my baseball players built like Troy Gloss and Adam Dunn, and he's like 6'5", 260 or something crazy. So he makes like the bat look absolutely tiny. There's a lot of swing and miss there still. So like, it's not it's a very far thing from a slam dunk, but again, it's not easy to see, but like I could see, a path to him still breaking out because he's still only like 24 or 25. So I don't want to close the book on him, but I do want to get a little bit more assurance that he's going to be playing regularly before I start jamming him as much as I have been with Eldridge.
Yeah, I can't say that I've taken him at all, but I see the path. This is Money Mike here at the end. Ashcraft, Grayson, Andrew Painter. That's a
glass half full kind of build.
DeLauder, Manzardo, Jackson Holiday. Yeah, that's a. I know what's going to happen.
Everything's going to be okay.
Yeah. How many Padres do we get?
I think we've only got the 2 with Laureano.
Laureano.
If you did want to fill out like the dog, Bogarts he's solid.
Yeah. I'm just going to take Miguel Vargas here, though. I'll be honest. I just think he is.
They are
He's
very
got-
comparable profiles, I'll say. Like good
Yeah.
bouncer ball skills, not a little bit of pop, nothing crazy.
But to me, I think there's a ceiling somewhere in a Miguel Vargas, and I don't know that Jackson Merrill, Ramon Laureano, Xander Bogaerts gets us like a huge stack that we love.
Yeah,
so
for
I'm
sure.
just gonna do that
Yeah.
and go with that. Let's see who else we got at the end here. Luis Heel is an interesting one. Ryan Nelson. Otherwise, nobody got too crazy here at the end. Brad tacks on Jorge Soler. And that is the draft. So we will run over the draft here. Paul, we got Hunter Green, Jacob deGrom, Nolan McLean, guess I should say, Chase Burns, Ryan Pepio, Mitch Keller, Cade Horton, infielders, Gunnar Henderson, Austin Riley, Shea Langoliers, Drake Baldwin, Will Smith, Max Muncy, Miguel Vargas. Outfield, Ronald Acuna, Jackson Merrill, Teoscar Hernandez, Michael Harris, the second, Kerry Carpenter, and Ramon Laureano. So I'm pretty happy with this team that we put together. What about you?
Yeah, it's looking pretty sharp. If I'm being honest, I probably would have maybe stripped a catcher away, but
Yeah.
you know, we got those two anchors up top with Riley and Gunnar, and then yeah, you're hoping for a lot of pop from catchers who have shown that they have a lot of pop over the years. So feels like a good bet.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Bobby, for joining us tonight. Thank you, everybody else, for being here. Paul, I appreciate you showing up here on a Friday evening to hang out and draft. And yeah, that's it. Come back here on Sunday night for the second episode of Jason and Brad Draft a Dinger. Next week is pitcher week here at Stacking Dingers, so we will be talking through all the pitchers. Yeah, that's what we got coming up. And I think Paul's working on another stack article for next week. And yeah, appreciate you all.